This week's fundamental is communicate to be understood. Know your audience. Write and speak in a way that they can understand. Avoid using internal lingo, acronyms, and industry jargon, and use the simplest possible explanations. The whole point of communicating is to convey a message for people to be able to understand. If we keep that goal in mind, what naturally follows is that in order to increase the likelihood that the other person understands us, then we have to think from their perspective. You have to really know your audience. Most of us never think much about it, but it takes real skill to be able to explain things well. One of the traps we often fall into is this curse of knowledge. The more we know about a topic, the harder it is for us to imagine not knowing it. We tend to talk using terms we just assume everyone else knows. Or we ramble on, assuming that others are interested in all the details that we know about a topic. So often we pepper our language with technical terms, industry jargon, and acronyms that may be second nature to us, but are totally confusing to our intended audience. You shouldn't talk to an advisor or a beneficiary, and certainly not your grandmother, with the same words that you would use with an experienced trust officer. Prep for your conversations and choose your first words to set the stage appropriately. How many times has someone started talking to you about something and you have no idea who they're talking about or what the topic is? This is true whether you're speaking verbally, writing an email, or preparing a presentation. Communication is also about reaching others on a personal level. Make sure that you're conveying the appropriate feelings and heartfelt emotions in your communications. Here are some tips that I focus on. Use the simplest yet impactful words and explanations as possible. Break down your content with easy to understand words and analogies. Be concise. Most people don't want all the details as long as they understand why something is true. And if they do want more, they'll ask questions and ask for more details. Don't keep vomiting at the mouth. When writing, use bullet points, topical headings, and bold-face some key phrases to make the reading or skimming more organized and easier. No one wants to read a lengthy full-page email. And lastly, start with some context for communications. A brief recap, your background, or a reminder of where you are and what you're talking about. The goal is not to impress others with how much you know about a topic. Rather, the goal is for others to understand both the content and the feelings that you're trying to convey. One of the highest compliments that you can receive is when someone says, "I never understood it so clearly before." Communicating to be understood takes getting out of your own head and getting into the minds of your audience. This week, pay extra attention to your conversations and your writing, and make sure that you're communicating in a way that's easy for others to understand.